Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this year's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Dalton Ramsey Show, where we cover everything on Rebel Hill with the South Green Rebels baseball team. As always, I'm joined here with Rebels head coach Dalton Ramsey. Coach,
what's up?
Good to be back.
Hey, it's been a while.
It has been a while. Unfortunately, starting a little late this year. I didn't get my wish. I wanted TSSAA to push basketball back, or I guess up a week. Instead, they pushed it back to where it cuts into spring sports again.
Oh, yeah.
We're finally here. Unfortunately, we're halfway through the year now, but got a lot of baseball left to play. Got a lot to cover throughout the first half of the season. Sure. In the meantime, though, we haven't talked to any, but last year you ended with 5 seniors in your last show.
Correct.
Losing those 5. Let's jump right into it, talk about the team. I know people that have came out and watched you know about the team, but for those that don't, just talk about the team a little bit, and let's jump right into that.
Yeah, so we graduated 5 last year. 5 really good seniors, played all 4 years. We got 5 freshmen in this year, so that was a kind of a even balance, but a lot of our freshmen are young, so our whole entire team is a young team this year. There's a lot of plays that we've seen in the early season that's inexperienced. We're starting to get the hang of it. But we've also had injuries. We've had 2 guys get put out, 2 or 3 guys get put out, and they're ending up getting back now towards halfway through the season and starting to get back to full potential. So we're looking forward to getting them back into the field. It'll help us out a little bit with the experience, but at the same time, we've got to get young guys get the work in so that they can be experienced for later in the season and even next year.
Take me through the first month of the season also. We're about halfway through now. I think we talked about it off record. You're 15 games through the season. You've got 13 games left at this moment, about noon on Monday. So take me through this first half of the season. You talked about how you've had a few injuries, and a lot of those young guys have had to step in and play right away as freshmen too.
Yeah.
Take me through the season up to this point. You don't have to go game by game. You could just go kind of week by week and talk about it. Just try to give me kind of a synopsis of the season up to this point.
So I'll go ahead and say it. Our record is not that great right now. I think our record's 2-13, I believe. Yeah, 2-13 on the year so far, and the 2 games that we've won has been here recently, so that's a good sign moving forward. But we were just young and inexperienced, and there was, like I said, plays that just kind of took us out of the game that we should have been in a game for. It kind of sucked for our older guys. There towards the beginning, just not having the experience on the field and being able to move advance, through the games. But we've also played some really good competition. And we did that for a sole purpose this year because we knew that whenever we get past districts and move on to regionals and move on from there, it's good competition that we're going to be facing. So we've been playing a lot of 3A teams, a lot of 4A teams. There's actually been, I think there's only been a 4A team. I think it was the highest one we went. But also, we've been playing state-ranked teams this year. So we're doing it for a sole reason to see good pitching, see good reps, get good reps in the field, and then move forward from there. But, we've played some really good teams. And we actually played this year in a Lakeway tournament where we played Morristown West, Knox West, Lakeway Christian Academy, and Gibbs.
Pretty
quality
much
all 4 right there, all 4 quality teams. And to be honest with you, Gibbs, I think, is state ranked, if I'm not mistaken. Gibbs is one of those teams that plays and usually makes it to the state tournament every year. Another one, Morristown West, very solid squad, 3A school, plays and competes really, really hard and makes it to the regionals almost every single year, if not sub-state. So we've played some good competition, and you can kind of tell that we're starting to gain that experience and move forward. But here in the recent week, we played Happy Valley Monday, Tuesday, played Pigeon Forge on Thursday. And, after our Johnson County losses, we kind of talked about it. We said, we've got to get better one step at a time. So we've kind of got like a little ladder, analogy. Every time we get better, we're taking a step up that ladder. Okay. Every time we move up that ladder, we're taking a step. And to be honest with you, we're getting there. It's just we're not there yet. So hopefully we can get it figured out. We got West Green this week, and then we got Hampton the week after, and that finishes out our conference series, games that we got to play this year. So hopefully we can get it figured out and maybe squeeze by us a couple wins there and put ourselves in a good standing for the tournament coming up.
Since it's recent, you talked about playing Happy Valley last week, which resulted in 2 wins. and Pigeon Forge, who is a team that is in the same region that you could potentially see going forward in the region tournament in May. How beneficial was it to, of course, get those 2 wins, raise your confidence levels up, but also play Pigeon Forge in that same week also, where it's kind of a week where it could sort of be the same exact teams you play going into May in the district and region tournaments. I know that probably wasn't meant to be scheduled that way. It may have, but talk about how beneficial that week was for you last week.
So, I mean, you think about it, you always play conference Monday, Tuesday, and then later in the week you want to play a team that, is going to advance your skill levels. So, that's why I added Pigeon Forge this year, so we could actually see what the competition's like in the other region. And also, I mean, Pigeon Forge is always a good squad through and through their lineup, so it's always good to compete against them. But yeah, I mean, that was a good look at kind of like how a district tournament transferring into a regional tournament, kind of how it looks. You're going to play a team that you've seen, 2-3 times, and then you're going to turn around and play another team that you hadn't seen all year long. So which now we can say that we have seen them, but still, it's definitely a good insight, and to know that we got 2 wins on Monday and Tuesday, and I'll tell you, it's like I told Treadway, Happy Valley's coach, told him, I said, that's some of the cleanest baseball we've played this year. And, we come in with the right attitude, the right approach at the plate, and we was able to hit the ball very well. We go into Pigeon Forge, we face a pitcher that probably throwing 88, 87, somewhere in that area, some pretty good speed, and we hit the ball very well. So I was very impressed by that, and, to see us advancing and getting better every single day, that was a good sign for us, I believe.
Moving into April now, this is the last day of March. Don't know if anybody can hear the raindrops on the tin roof right now. Might not be able to see it behind us, but field's a little damp right now. Of course, at this moment, we got West Green today and tomorrow.
Correct.
Before we talk about those too much, though, we need to go ahead and get a break in first. So we'll get a word from our sponsors in. We'll come back, talk about the upcoming schedule for the Rebels here in just a minute here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza Inn's new Right Way Buffet is open and ready for you and your family. Now with new garlic buttery crust and stuffed crust pizza, along with salads and desserts. It's the best part of your day. The all-day, everyday buffet. Only at Pizza Inn Greenville.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Dalton Ramsey Show, where we cover everything here on Rebel Hill with the South Green Rebels baseball team. As always, joined here with South Green head coach Dalton Ramsey. So let's talk about the upcoming week at the moment. We mentioned it right before the break. Don't know if they can hear the rain on the tin roof. Raining a little bit harder now.
Oh, yeah.
At this moment, you play West Green today here at home at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
You play them tomorrow at West Green. Then on Thursday, you flip over to 2 non-conference games on Thursday and Friday with North Green and Morristown East. So take me through this week's schedule. I know the rain might affect the schedule, but at this very moment at 11:57 on Monday morning, let's talk about the schedule as it is right now.
So as it is right now, yeah, we're playing West Green Monday and Tuesday this week. Actually, if you look at the conference standings right now, this game is a pretty big have-to for us. If we get the 2 wins here, it'll put us and West Green tied, I believe. I think it's us tied at that point, and puts Johnson County in second place and Chucky Doak in first place. So if we get 2 wins this week, it would definitely shake up the conference a little bit. So that's what we're looking to do. It's going to be a hard task. There isn't. It ain't like we can go in here thinking that we've already won a game at all. It shouldn't feel that way ever, but it's a team that we're going to have to hit the ball very well. We're going to have to make our plays, and whenever we make mistakes, we got to let it go and move on to the next play. They're a very solid hitting team. They like to feed off another team's energy, especially whenever you make an error. They're ready to feed off of that and keep pounding it and keep putting it down your throats. So if we play our game, we play control, we play, disciplined baseball, I think we'll be fine. The big thing is we've got to attack and go from there. So we're looking forward to this week for that. Going on to North Green game, we played them, scrimmaged them earlier in the season, and we ended up getting a scrimmage win, not on the record win, but we ended up getting a scrimmage win against them. But that was also whenever both teams were still young. We were still trying to figure out what we're doing. So there was a lot of different rotations and stuff, and I'm sure they've figured it out like we figured out a lot more stuff from when we were scrimmage. So it's good to know what's coming up a little bit with us seeing them in the scrimmage, but at the same time, it's a very good single-A team that they're gonna hit the baseball really well. I've said it year after year after year. North Green is a team, even though they play in single-A, they could do very well and compete very well in 2A.
Ranked 8th in single-A too in state.
There you go.
So, very one of the best
solid
throughout the state.
So very, very solid, very disciplined team. I know Jamie's taken over this year and he's done an amazing job. So super happy for him and look forward to playing them on Thursday. Morristown East, 3A school that we're going to go compete against. Very solid. They're not a Morristown West that we played in the earlier season, but they are definitely still a squad that's going to hit the baseball and be playing disciplined baseball throughout the entire game. So if we put it in play, they're more than likely going to make a play against us, so we got to do the same exact thing. Whenever we get out on the field, we got to make the plays, we got to throw strikes. We can't give up free runs in that game. So,
turning over the calendar tomorrow, you go from March 31st today to April 1st tomorrow. April baseball, what does that mean to you? March baseball, I know, is kind of a startup. You start the season, you get into conference games, you start to find yourself, find your identity. I know for you mentioned that you'd been banged up a little bit, had to start some young guys, kind of getting back healthy to that lineup that you want to see on the field and the product that you want to put out there. When the calendar flips over to April, what does that mean to you?
It's go time. It's go time, definitely. That's the last month that we're going to compete against teams. It's wrapping up our season. Some guys, it'll be their last season playing baseball, so it's wrapping up the season. It's coming to an end. We've got to hone in on the good skills. Don't feed into the bad stuff we've done at the start of the season. Hopefully we've grown and learned from it and don't make the same mistake twice. So it's getting down to the wire that we've got to be ready to go for district tournament. And we're actually got a new setup this year for district tournament. We're going to do 2 different pods, so that'll be a good little difference for us. It might help us a little bit this year, especially since we started off the season a little bit colder. But yeah, biggest thing is we got to start turning it up and start going. We got to start playing our game and start playing ways that we know how to, instead of making mistakes over and over again.
Hey, April showers are coming, but it already looks like we've got March showers right now also.
We got the early April, the pre-April showers. Yeah. Best way to put it, if we play today, it'll be a miracle.
That's the lovely part about being a baseball coach, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Paying attention to the weather. What weather app do you use as a baseball coach? Do you use the weather app or do you use different?
Here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to knock on wood before I say it.
Okay.
The WeatherBug app that is on my phone has never done me wrong.
Okay. And I use the weather app that comes with the iPhone.
Never use that one.
Okay,
in my opinion. Now, the WeatherBug app, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you look at it 2 hours before, you're golden. If you try to look the day before, it's not going to be right.
The WeatherBug app?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it will not be right. So, if you wait until day of and start looking at the weather, it's most of the time correct.
Okay.
So, That's the one I've always used. The only thing I don't like about it is I don't get more than an hour's future radar, so that's probably why it's not the best. But at least I know when it's coming and what I need to do within an hour to be able to do something. So that's my opinion on the weather apps.
The WeatherBug app.
Well, WeatherBug app is one you need to get. Yeah,
might be the last question I ask across the board this week. Maybe see who everybody's opinion is. But
it's a good question.
The WeatherBug app. We'll have that one noted down.
Listen, I like to always say this: the baseball coach is part-time baseball coach and part-time meteorologist.
Yeah.
So.
And full-time field crew.
Full-time field crew
for sure. But
yep.
I won't keep you too much longer. Let you go out there and work on it a little bit.
I ain't getting out there to work on it right now.
I'm going to go get wet walking to the car. Coach, it's been a pleasure. Glad to have the show back. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Dalton Ramsey Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.